Survival can save your life, but it was never meant to run your life. And some of us didn't just visit survival mode, we moved in. Welcome to This Is Not the End podcast. I'm your host, Patsy. Guys, I realized that, talking about survival and stuff, and I had conversations with other people about it, people who I kind of spent my time with, my brother, my brothers at church, even my wife. We've talked about this, and then I realized that a whole lot of us, especially men, we I think even women, some women are on that tip of trying to survive at all times, you know what I'm saying? And this is because of what had happened in the past and what we have learned and what we because there's a lot of things that happened when there was the absence of authority in our lives or absence of mentorship. We just had to survive, and I realized that survival mode is a thing, even though some other people may not accept it. But the decisions that we make in life, they are based off on the survival mode. You know what I'm saying? And who we have become is caused by that classroom that was led by a survival mode, because survival, like I said, it trains us, it trained most of us in the past, you know what I'm saying? And I realized that this is something that I might have to talk about for some time, you know what I'm saying? So if survival now is a lifestyle and people don't realize that, then they're going to continue living like that, you know what I'm saying? And I just want you guys to let me know your experiences about survival, just trying to survive, just trying to be out there, just trying to win. You know what I'm saying? Because I also have my own opinion about survival mode, because I know, man, there's a time where you don't just listen to other people, but you listen to what you have learned back in the past. Still speaking, but doesn't have to rule and run your life. You know what I'm saying? So I've realized that, survival mode has become a lifestyle in other people's lives. And this is what I mean. I'm not saying everybody who had to survive back in the day is still, on that survival tip. Like I said, it's not really a bad thing, you know what I'm saying? Because survival really kept us alive. But then again, it becomes a lifestyle, because some people are saying, nah, man, I don't think it's a lifestyle. I think it's just an instinct, you know what I'm saying? I get that. I do get that. But then again, you have to realize that it becomes a lifestyle when you are always tense. You're defensive at all times. Like, you don't smile. These people that just don't smile. They're in the room, they're just looking at you like, man, come on, get it on with it. You don't waste my time. I need to go home. They they don't have that peace. They don't smile. They're not happy. You know, you are with people. You just don't trust these people. You're with these people. You just want them to do whatever they said they would do. You are with a doctor. You just want the doctor to give you a painkiller and let you go. Sometimes that doctor wants to know what's really going on in your life. Is this just a headache? You know what I'm saying? Is this just a chest pain? Is this just pains in the shoulders, and or is it stress but you always tense? You're like, man, you're hired to give me painkillers. Just give me painkillers. I want to go home. Oh, look, I don't have the time for the cheat chat. Always tense, always like, so you know for sure that this one is coming from that classroom that I used to be. And survival was the teacher. Survival mode was the one that was lecturing me. You know what I'm saying? And these people are always defensive, man. You try to crack a joke and they like, I don't know why, man. I don't know why. Jesus never cracked jokes. I don't know why you're trying to be funny. I don't know why, and somebody might come up with just staging that. I mean, stating that opinion out there. I think this is how we're supposed to do it. No, we've always you've been to a church where people would tell you that we've never done it like that. We've always done like this, and it worked. And you guys were not even here, and they're just angry all the time, very defensive. You try to come up with in praise team. You try to come up with a new song. They be like, "What do you think you are? What are you trying to do? You who are you defending? That's the question. Are you defending yourself? Are you trying to cover your pain? Are you trying to get rid of them triggers? What's going on? What's going on in that thing? These defensive people are never team players, man. They're not team players. They don't listen to advice. They don't take. And the Bible talks about safety being there in the counsel of many. And for sure, for you to be wise, there has to be a whole lot of counseling. There has to be a whole lot of mentorship. But then if you can't sit with somebody who can tell you, for sure that this one now is made survival mode a lifestyle. And you need help. You need some help. Look, man, I'm not trying to be funny or trying to diss nobody. But I'm just saying, sometimes it doesn't have to become a lifestyle. Because if it does, then you're not going to listen to nobody. You're not gonna get help. You're not gonna get advice. You're gonna live the life the way the street taught you, or media taught you, or people who didn't even like you taught you, or sometimes you are being taught by people who are lost, and they just teach us, man. And because they are available at the time, you just consume everything. And now you want to live like that. You want everything that is spoken to your life to rule you. This is why Paul's saying, nah, man, you don't have to adapt to that type of, standard. No. You don't have to. Sometimes in life, you just don't have to be rigid. You just have to listen. Be attentive to what is going on and see if these things really make sense. Some people come into your life and say, you know what, I think if you change the way of doing things, then you might. People don't mean no harm at all times. You have to be open. You have to be flexible, not rigid all the time. And survival mode. Oh man, people who are being run by that always expecting the worst. Like, look. There's a people that there's a whole bunch of people that will say to you, relax, man. Relax. It will be okay. It will turn out okay. And you don't believe that. I'm telling you, if you are like that, you know for sure that this survival mode that you've introduced to yourself, or the street has introduced to you, it has now become a lifestyle. You're always expecting the worst. Why? At all times, you're always thinking, oh, something might go wrong if I don't do this. And you always giving yourself a responsibility to change things. Change things, change that. No, man, we've always done it like this. No, you don't accept change. You don't want to be, you just want to do things the old way. But you just have to try. You just have to try. But you can't try when survival mode has always tired. Even when nothing is happening, you're always tired. Oh man, I was just passing by. I mean, what you talking about? You're just passing by. You've been here for like 2 minutes. Ah man, I gotta be in my space. You know what I'm saying? No, you don't have to be in your space. What you talking about? You just literally came here, man. You said you come check on me, and you're tired. You're always tired. You're bored. Survival mode, man. You're not no longer responding to reality. You're just responding to memory. You bring in things from the past, and you judge the situation with the things that you're getting from the past. You're in a relationship. Suddenly, when somebody says something, you responding as if you are responding to your past girlfriend or your past boyfriend or your past classmates or your past friendships, in friends. So every time something happens, you're not responding to what is going on at the moment. You're responding to a memory. You know what I'm saying? So now you know for sure that survival mode is running your life. That mode that you're supposed to get rid of, that mindset, it's a mindset thing that you're supposed to change. Now it's running your life. Every response that you make, you're not making it to me. I'm having a conversation. I'm in front of you, making a conversation with you, having a chat with you. I'm trying to, I'm trying to share my opinion, what I've learned, what I've realized, my observations. I'm trying to say all these things, and you're like, nah, man, these things don't work. You don't even listening to me. You ever been in a conversation with people, and they just looking at you like, and you're saying all these things, and like you're saying a whole bunch of things, they're just looking at you like, and when they respond, you know for sure that they were not listening to you. They will just talk about themselves. And for sure, that makes you selfish, man. Come on now. It makes you selfish. At least that's what I think. Survival mode, man, it's good, but it doesn't have to run your life, run you. You know what I'm saying? And this is where you remember, you realize that at, back in the day, your body learned danger before your mind learned wisdom. And I'm not saying survival mode. Like I've been saying this. I've been saying this. Survival mode is good. You know what I'm saying? Because it once protected you. You know what I'm saying? It helped you to enjoy chaos. It helped you to navigate absence. When there was no one, you were able to live. You are where you are because you had to survive. You know what I'm saying? It helped you to stay alert. It helped you to avoid harm. You know. It helped you. You know what I'm saying? But what protected you from back in the day can imprison you. It kept you alive, but then it cannot help you to become. You know what I'm saying? It was there for a reason, and it was there for a season. And now you have to be aware that seasons do come, seasons do go. There's a season where you have to survive. There's a season where you have to become. You know what I'm saying? And survival mode is not needed in a season where you have to become. What is needed now on a season where you have to become is wisdom. And like I said, wisdom has a lot to do with mentorship, has a lot to do with counsel, where there is safety, where counsel brings in safety. It has a lot to do with counseling, premarital counseling, therapy. It has a lot to do with that. We're not saying yes, we are getting rid of that survival mode because you don't need it now. You needed it when there was no one, but now there are people that you have to reason with, that you have to have a conversation with. Now you don't need to be tense at all times. You don't need to be thinking of the West at all times. You know what I'm saying? You need now to work on that hurt, and only people. This is why now the Bible speaks of fellowship, man. Only people can help you heal. You know what I'm saying? And that you cannot be calm when you are still hurting. You cannot be calm when you haven't gotten past that pain. You need to heal. The scripture in the book of Ephesians, right? Ephesians 2, verse 10. It speaks of us being God's handiwork. Meaning you are a masterpiece, and you are still being shaped. You have to allow yourself to be shaped. You know, you have to allow yourself to be shaped, to be. Mm, you are a work in progress. You know, and this means that you are not damaged. You are not a damaged product. And when now you're always tense, you're always defensive. You're always sitting like what's about to happen. I'm ready. You're not allowing yourself to, you know, let the environment that you are in teach you something. You're not, because you're just blocking. You just build a wall around you that people can go in and come out. And sometimes we don't realize that you the time when you are building that wall, you might have like locked people inside of you, and you can't let those people go. You can't let that pain go. You know what I'm saying? You've built a wall, and you didn't realize that when building this wall, I'm not just covering myself. I'm not just covering my situations. I've there are people in it. Now these people cannot go out. That means you cannot let these people go. And sometimes you feel like you are a damaged product. But now for we are God's handiwork. That means we are of God. We are not damaged product. You are a work in progress, man. You know what I'm saying? Handiwork, a masterpiece. You are still being shaped. And God didn't design you to live clean. You know what I'm saying? He designed you to live formed. Oh, please forgive me. I just feel good about saying all these things because I've always wanted to say it to the world. You know what I'm saying? So survival has shaped your reflexes. That jumpiness, you know, that's not God, man. You know, God wants to shape your character. That's all he wants to do. You know what I'm saying? That's all he wants to do. And you have to understand that in these reactions, you know, sometimes we react differently, you know. But there is one reaction that's, you know, that you're familiar with when you look at yourself, when you do some introspection. Some people they they respond with, I mean, they react with anger. You know, some people they just withdraw. They just look around. It's like, man, I need to be outside. You know, I need to be outside. I know for myself, there's a lot of times that I just keep quiet when there are conversations that I really need to be involved in. Sometimes because I feel, because it triggers a lot of things. Sometimes it reminds me of, you know, my past, the past that I didn't like. Sometimes I just withdraw. You know, I don't sit there to reason with others. I just go. You know what I'm saying? But there are people who just try to control the situation, try to control the conversation, and trying to make the conversation go their direction, the direction that is chosen just by them. You know what I'm saying? And some people just shut down. They just like keep quiet, shut down, and they don't let anyone in. They don't let, you know, any advice in. They just shut down. You know what I'm saying? And these are the reactions that we have, different reactions that you have. You choose one, and in you choosing that, you don't have to judge it. You know what I'm saying? Like when you do that, you just have to ask yourself, what am I protecting? You know, or what was I protecting at the time when I was reacting like that? You know what I'm saying? What is it? You just have to understand that that will help you be aware. And awareness is the first step out of survival. I'm going to keep on saying this. Survival kept you alive, it kept you breathing. But healing, healing will teach you how to live going forward.